G'day and welcome to the Fred Paul Show on ADH TV. Something weird happened around the world on the weekend that you might not have noticed. The ordering system at McDonald's restaurants in various countries around the world simultaneously went down for up to 9 hours. The countries affected were Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Sweden, Germany, the United Kingdom and Canada. McDonald's was quick to reassure everyone that this was not the result of a cyber attack, which would have been disturbing enough. But if it wasn't the result of a cyber attack, then we can only reach an even more disturbing conclusion. If hackers didn't coordinate this global outage, then the McDonald's system itself is global. The same system that enables a tradie in London to pay for a Big Mac and fries for lunch is the same system that enables a bloke on his way home from the pub in Brisbane to buy exactly the same meal. Why would that be so? Why does McDonald's need to centralise its payment system so that someone buying a burger in Christchurch is using exactly the same system as someone 17,000 kilometres away in Stockholm? For the answer to that question, consider who two of McDonald's biggest investors are: Vanguard and BlackRock, two of the key drivers of the World Economic Forum's globalist agenda. The World Economic Forum has already told us that in the future we will own nothing and be happy. Whatever other plans the WEF has for us in its future utopia, you can bet it doesn't involve us sitting around with a family around a dining table, eating a meal cooked by a stay-at-home mum. No, it will involve us ordering food off a generic, easily manipulated menu that includes things like, a McPlant. One of the other dreams of the globalism movement is to introduce a worldwide digital currency, which the outage at McDonald's last week suggests is closer than we realise. The Australian government has already conducted secret trials into its own digital currency, as have other governments around the world. It's an important reminder that if you want to fight back against these forces of globalism, then it's important that you always carry cash. Well, how do people feel about the creeping forces of globalism coming into things as basic as ordering a hamburger? I asked people at the Bondi McDonald's what they thought. Do you carry cash?
Maybe like $10 for emergencies, but not really.
So you do all your transactions using card and phone?
Yeah.
Do you worry that one day the government will try to control how we spend our money?
Okay. Maybe, pretty much, kind of.
Do you think it's important that we carry cash to stop the government doing this?
Sure, yeah. Maybe not even for emergencies. It's a great way to keep your money, yeah. Maybe at least like $20 in cash could be good,
Do you think if we all do our transactions via card, will the government control how we spend our money?
I think so, yes. They will. They already do, I think, like banks, and they know what we spend and what we spend. So, yes, it's already done. Cash was good. Cash is good, but all that coins in your pocket, it's, give and take, it's difficult. Depends on what situation you are. Yeah. I'm a retiree, so to me, card is easier.
Do you carry cash?
I do carry cash, yes. A lot of cash, actually. But I'm from the States, so I don't know if that matters. I don't like the extra charge, from credit cards.
The worry that I have is that if we do discard cash and that all our transactions are digital, then the government can control what we do. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see how that would concern you, yeah.
Well, they locked us down for 2 years, on a pretty slim pretense.
Yeah.
So, if they decided, for example, that they wanted us to stop travelling by aeroplane, or they wanted us all to eat vegetarian or whatever, then they could, because they could prevent you from spending your money where you want to. Do you think that's a possibility?
In Australia, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm from America. There's a lot more freedom there. So
That hurts. Do you carry cash?
No,
Why not?
I just don't need it anyway.
And when all transactions become digital, do you think the government will start trying to coerce you into doing, how to behave?
Not in Australia, but I think in other countries potentially, but I'm not going to fight against that.
But they locked us down for 2 years during COVID. I mean, would they, if they had the opportunity, do you think they'd do it? Like, I mean, for example, stop you flying overseas or make you eat plant-based food.
Potentially, it would be an easier way to enforce whatever they want us to do. Absolutely, it's possible.
So that's definitely a possibility.
100%.
So do you think you should carry cash now?
Maybe crypto.
Good answer. Do you worry that if we all conduct all our transactions using cards and phones, that one day the government will try to control how we spend our money?
I think that it will be much easier for them to control the ways that you spend or earn money. But I think that we are on the way to there. So
there's no stopping it?
yeah, that's what I think. In Israel back then, a couple of years ago, we had a law that says that you can't use more than 11,000 shekels, it's called, in cash. Now they took it down to 6,000. 6,000 shekels is something about 2,000 Australian dollars, something like that. And they are getting it lower every time.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that the main reason is if I give you right now $50 cash, you get $50 cash. But if I transfer it to you, they get a small commission of that. And if all the transactions together go only from card, they get a lot more commissions to their pocket.
So, some interesting responses there, and a warning from Israel that governments these days can just arbitrarily place limits on how much cash can be used in a transaction. But I've got to say, there wasn't a lot of alarm about where all this is heading. One person who is alarmed is United States Republican Congressman Tom Emmer from Minnesota. He's made it one of his key objectives to stop a government digital currency in the United States, a country where the momentum for it is even stronger than it is here. Just this morning, he tweeted this: "The Biden administration sees it as their key duty to abandon our core American values and create a surveillance-style CBDC, that's a central bank digital currency. Let me be clear," Emma went on, "a government tool for financial surveillance will not happen so long as House Republicans are in the majority." Well, they're the kind of fighting words you don't hear often in Australia. Emma's Australian counterparts can be counted on the fingers of one hand. One of them is Victorian UAP Senator Ralph Babbitt, who last year made this dire warning in the Australian Senate.
Now, this money is programmable. The government will be able to see exactly where your money is, where it goes, how it's spent, what it's spent on, etc. The CBDC, when you really think about it, is arguably more dangerous to your freedom than a standing army. I'll give you an example. The government could easily restrict what you spend your money on. Perhaps they restrict how much alcohol you can buy or what food you can buy. Perhaps they say you can only purchase a certain amount of red meat this month because you've reached your carbon quota. Perhaps the government sets an expiry date on your digital money or a negative interest rate. The potential for abuse of this technology is limitless, and at the end of the day, it's first and foremost about control of the population through the financial system. Now, anyone that might say, oh, the government would never do that, it will never happen, you haven't been paying attention over the last 2 years. The government could absolutely do that. Now, people must push back against the central bank digital currency, lest we lose what little freedom we have left. This is not a conspiracy theory. Our central bank is doing a trial of CBDC right now.